and Facebook live streams. I'm just getting the live stream put onto my Apple TV so I can see that everything's working. It looks like I've got some green bars. So we'll be doing a few stretches today for the hamstrings. So if you are someone that has tighter hamstrings, feel free to go and grab yourself your strap, your blocks, and a rolled up blanket and arrive on your mat. So it won't be an energetic class today. It'll be more a class aimed at stretching the hamstrings. So as you arrive on your mat, find something to sit on. So I have this really beautiful cushion from Bali, which is perfect for yoga. But if you don't own one of these, use something to elevate the hips. And in elevating the hips, it helps the hinge at the hip creases, which is where we can start to fold forward and cultivate that stretch in the hamstrings. And as I take the legs forward, rolled up blanket arrives underneath the nook of the knees, so underneath the knees there. And as you start to lift the chest a little, begin to fold forward here. And so using these props, you can help to alleviate a lot of the tension in your low back. And in doing so, it'll allow you to stay a little longer with a gentler tug on the hamstrings. And so here, you're going to hold this for about 3 minutes. So let the arms be super passive, and let the head sort of just be nice and soft, not too rigid in the neck. And just let the breath be supernatural. So we're not encouraging here any particular form of breath or style of breath work. Just encouraging gravity to do the work. Easing into the subtle body and easing into the stretch along what can be quite a vociferous set of muscles, the hamstrings, especially at the connection points with the around the buttocks where you feel that really deep tug. And what you can find here is the expression that when there is this sense of calmness in the body and the breath, and certainly in the quality of the mind, the body starts to release the connective tissue that is really where a lot of the tension lies. And that connective tissue, the fascia, that's the target area. We really want to loosen up all of that to help with the muscle stretch through the hamstrings. And just allow the body to rest into the field of gravity. And softening through the upper back and the shoulders. And we'll hold this for another 10 breaths. My experience in the connective tissue and how it starts to release, it's almost like a little jump in the musculature of your legs as there's this sense of release, as it just lets go. The nervous system recognizes that you are in control of this stretch. The huge benefit of having a nervous system in the first place is the prevention of injury. And we want to prevent ourselves from being hurt. We want to avoid the uncomfortableness. And sometimes the body mistakens, well, I beg your pardon, the nervous system mistakens moments when we are stretching for moments of danger and worry and, needs to protect us. So it tenses up. And so we don't often have as long in our faster paced classes just to smooth all of those rigid edges out. So here I'm just showing you a few of my favorite stretches for your hamstrings. And so you could hold this for as long as you wish, but for me at the moment this should be enough to have allowed you to recognize the props you can use. So blanket rolled up into quite a thick amount underneath the knees, and then the elevation at the hips underneath a beautiful firm cushion. Now we're going to arrive on our backs. So remove the bolster or the pillows and the blankets from underneath you, and lie down on your back. And as you lie down on your back, create some comfortableness along the spine. So just sort of feel into how the spine can just soften down into the field of gravity against the mat. Reach for your strap. Have the strap at its longest length looped through the buckle. And then you want that buckle away from the back of your head. You don't really want a metal buckle or a plastic buckle on the back of your head. We'll begin with our right leg. So just bend the right knee and bring the right foot towards you, and take the strap like a belt over the ball of the right foot. So we'll start here. So for some people, this bent knee option will be all they can do because there is tightness in their hamstrings, and that's okay. So what I'll do is I'll stay here for a few moments because it is really nice to warm up the body, whether you're actually quite flexible and quite toned in your muscles, or whether you're a little tighter in the muscles. So here you've got this option, and it's a bent knee, and you've got the toes quite passive. You could start to explore a little bit of movement in the toes. And I tell you what, as soon as you start to move a little bit in the toes, you can almost isolate each of the hamstring muscles as they run down the back of the leg. And you can tune into that sensation there. So curling the toes towards your face could be a way just to create a little bit of extra sensation in the back of the legs. For those of you exploring a deeper expression, you could start to straighten the leg. And in doing so, you immediately start to feel the tension increase. And you want to explore a tension or a level of stress. Now, as soon as you say that word, people go, oh, stress, I don't want to be stressed in a yoga stretch. Well, you've got to apply a certain degree of stress to our muscles in order to begin to hydrate them and allow them to function at their optimum peak. We are often too sedentary in our lives, so that's why they get a little tight. So those of you that have lengthened the leg, you've got this more of an extension at the knee joint. Maybe you curl the toes towards your face, and that can increase the sensation as well. For those of you which are quite flexible, you start to draw the toes towards the head. So you're starting to move the foot overhead here. Again, starting to really create a lot more tension along the spine, along the spine of the leg, so to speak, the back of the leg. And then once you've started to recognize that, you could start to just take the stretch back a little and just do a little bit of movement and just see if that facilitates a little bit more of an expression of depth, a bit more of an expression of opening and lengthening. And then another variation here can be to take the leg from the midnight position, the 12 o'clock position. You could take the leg over slightly to the 1 o'clock position, so just slightly to the right. We're on our right foot, right leg, and see what that does to the stretch. See if that isolates a different part of the stretch and whether that tones into something that's a little bit more sensational for you. You could come back through your center and take it over to the left towards that 11 o'clock position. Maybe that creates something that's really sensational in your body. And then as we stay here with the leg at that midnight position, another opportunity here to explore some beautiful work that could be maintained for a while is to create head hammock. So you've got the loop of the strap secured in the buckle. You've got the foot in the strap, and then you can place the back of the strap behind the head. That's why I suggested you have the buckle up and away from the back of your head. And in doing so, you can hammock into this position. And you can maintain this for a while. In fact, I often will watch television for a while with one leg in this position. There is the opportunity to manipulate the stretch. So you can start to shorten the strap, which creates more tension on the strap, and it might start to shift the leg a little higher and the back of the head a little closer towards the earth. And so you could stay here for quite a while if it's available to you. And so as you take yourself out of this, first of all, hold the strap to secure it, lift the head out, and remove the head out and lie it back down on the mat. Now, as you take the foot out of the strap, lengthen both legs out down the mat. And just notice how the right leg, which is the one we just worked on, can feel completely different to the left. Just notice how the fluid flows back down through the leg because it was above the heart, so it was harder for it to pump all of the expression of energy up through the leg. And just recalibrate here as we prepare to take all that on the other side. So I'm going to change the view here. I'm going to place my head towards you so you can see the leg in profile. So this time with the feet on the mat, we'll lift the left knee in towards us and we'll take our strap and we'll place the strap over the ball of the foot. And the first option here is to have a bent knee. And so we'll hold that and maintain that position. For those of you that are in the bent knee variation, this could be enough for you for the entire duration. Of course, you're also getting some really great benefits here by having the foot above the heart in this position. As I said before, there's this expression of like drainage, allowing the leg just to flush out some of the fluid. You can even start to feel that through the tingliness in the legs. So for those of you that want to express and find it a little bit more, you could start to curl the toes back towards your face and move it away and curl the toes back towards your face. And even if it's a little bit through the ankle as well, you could maybe recognize how that changes the tension along the back of the leg. So for those of you that want to explore deeper, you could extend through the knees. So you've got more length now. The leg is longer. And now you definitely start to really tug on the hamstring muscles. It's about how much you draw the foot towards the top of your head that's going to start to determine the deepness of that stretch and of that experience in the back of the leg. You've got that same opportunity to take the leg over to that 11 o'clock position here, which just changes the angle in the hamstrings and maybe changes where the stretch begins to create a lot of that sensation. Coming back through that midnight position, you go over to the 11 o'clock position, I beg your pardon, the 1 o'clock position, and maybe there you notice again another expression of tension and tug and stretch. I actually feel this more on the outer left hip this time than I would have felt it on the outer right hip. And I've always known that that outer left hip of mine is a little bit more, a little tighter. So this is a nice position where I'm exploring some sensation that feels really good and beneficial. I'm not feeling electric pain or uncomfortableness that isn't allowing me to breathe normally, but there is definitely a sense of stress, sense of self-exploration. So as you come back through your center, now your opportunity to create your head hammock. So again, you've got your strap securely buckled and you've got the head lifted and you place the head in the strap. You could take the arms out nice and wide. And again, you could maintain this position for quite a while. An opportunity to perhaps watch TV or even read a book. And there's also a little bit of benefit here. We're thinking about the posterior chain of energy. So from the position where the strap is across the ball of your foot, you can trace a line of energy that runs down the back of, beg your pardon, over the sole of the foot, over the ankle, down the Achilles and the calf, down the back of the knee, down the backs of the thighs, which is where we're targeting the hamstring muscles, the gluteals and buttocks, along the spine, across the back of the neck, up and over the crown of your head, and are finally arriving at the third eye. And you can think of that as your posterior chain, superficial back line. And you really start to feel that expression of tingliness now, where the leg's starting to drain quite a bit of that fluid. You've always got the opportunity to take your hand over to that strap, the buckle, I beg your pardon. You can start to tighten the buckle, which will shorten the strap, increase and intensify the stretch. And holding there for a few more moments and a few more breaths. And so as you want to remove yourself from the strap, hold them, let the head return to the earth, and then place the left leg long down the mat. So extending both legs out and feeling the rush of energy back through the left leg. So those are a couple of my favorite go-to stretches for the hamstrings. So if you're someone that sits a lot for their work and their profession, which is something unfortunately we can't get around, and you often complain about a little bit of tightness, a little bit of lumbar spine tightness, and as well a bit of cramping in the buttocks and the glutes and the hamstrings, those are some really beneficial stretches. And you can literally take probably 15 minutes of your day. That was like 17 minutes today. So you could take 15 minutes of your day to stretch and create lots of energy through the hamstrings. So I hope you found that informative, and I hope you found that interesting. I'll continue to create some more short videos for really impactful stretches that can allow you to explore deep sensations, hydrate your tissues, and allow you to feel really youthful and energetic. So thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you again real soon. Bye for now. Thanks everybody on YouTube and on Instagram. I will see you again real soon. Don't forget, these videos are all recorded and they're all available on YouTube. It'll be up in a matter of moments, so feel free to